Hello, everybody. Welcome to a Three Geeks interview. I have the very talented and gifted Artie Hoffman with me. How are you doing today, Artie?
Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you very much for having me on.
So, when did you first get into your line of work?
I got into it when I was about 27 years old. You're talking like 32 years ago, and I had everything going right in my life at the time, as far as my job, my marriage when I was married at the time, and health wise was great, financially great. Everything was going great, but yet I still felt that something wasn't right. You know. I never thought in my entire life, growing up, that I was going to become a psychic or a medium. People said, you know, um, Artie, you can do this if you want. Because I used to go for readings and stuff. I said, I'm not interested in trying to become a psychic or a medium. I just want to, find out about my love life or my career or whatever, where that was all going. That's all I cared about. I didn't care about, oh, wow, tell me, oh, you think I could do this? I had no interest. So anyway, so I was very frustrated in my life. I had everything going right for me. Again, I'm talking about the age of 27. And I'm having a little conversation with God. I said, God, I need answers. Please don't scare the hell out of me when you give me these answers. So I go walk into my kitchen and there's a bunch of junk mail sitting on the counter. And I usually just throw it all away. I usually don't have patience for that stuff. So I'm going through the junk mail and I see a postcard and it says, how would you like to develop your psychic ability and intuitiveness? Come to the Edgar Casey Foundation for this one weekend seminar. And I looked at it and I said, that's really interesting. I didn't know you could learn how to do this. I thought you had it or you didn't. So I asked my wife, who was my wife at the time, I go, this looks interesting. You want to learn how to do this? She says, I don't give a crap about that. She goes, you can go if you want. I don't want to go. So I went away for that one weekend. And so I drove out to Virginia Beach. And it was nice. It was very beautiful atmosphere. And I go into this one large room. There's 50 of us from all different parts of the country. And we're sitting in this one room. And so the leader of the pack, who the teacher, they taught you how to open up your heart and mind to be 100% unconditional. No matter what thoughts come into your mind, just share it with the person you're with, because they ended up breaking us up into groups. So they got you into that spiritual zone through their talkings and through music, very serene. And they broke us up into the groups. And whoever you're with, just share your thoughts with them. Don't judge it. Just whatever you get, you get. And people were telling me how accurate I was. And I go, really? I couldn't believe it. I'm meeting these people for the first time and I'm able to tell them shit about themselves. I'm like, wow, this is really cool. As people were doing the same for me. And I was like kind of blown out of the water that this even exists. And so I went home and I got myself a deck of spiritual cards. And I was reading for friends and family for about a half hour. No, a little longer than that, 3 years. So I was reading for them, for a really, really long time. Like I said, for a few years. And people were telling me I was pretty accurate. And it was great. It was, I was happy that I could make them happy. And I was only praying like hell that I was going to be right, It's like, well, this is what I see. This is what I feel. Bum, 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 bum. And I would get testimonial after testimonial from people like, oh my God, Artie, this was true. That came true. That came true. Even when they thought the impossible was impossible, things were coming true. And then all of a sudden, one day, so when I first started reading people, I would look at their picture. In other words, I couldn't just be in front of you and just start reading you. I was taught that give me a picture of yourself. And when I look into the eyes of you in the picture, I would start getting thoughts and images about yourself. Or if you gave me your keys or gave me your jewelry, I would be able to hold on to it and I would be able to tell you things about yourself. So that's what I was doing. So anyway, I was at work one day. I was at my other job. I owned another business. I was at my other job and I was in my client's house and I was telling them what I do besides, the, my because I owned a cleaning business. I still do. I own a window cleaning, power washing business. It's called Peeping Tom's Window Cleaning. And on my card, it says binoculars not included.
That's great.
So I'm inside their house, and I was telling what I do, and I gave them like a quick mini read, and because they gave me a picture of themselves, and they said, "Art, can you read for dead people?" I go, "Dead people? I never thought about reading for dead people. I was just looking at it as psychic stuff. Psychic is when you could tell somebody about themselves, about the past, present, future, or the what's going on, what's going to happen in the outcome of situations, or that's a psychic. Whereas a medium, which is what I am also, a medium is someone who could communicate to the dead, or communicate to angels. That's what's regarded as a medium. So she said to me, "Art, can you communicate to dead people?" And mind you, like I said, I could only read psychically upon people who I was with in the moment. I said, "I don't know. I never tried." I said, "Dead people?" I go, I didn't even thought of that concept. They're dead. How are they going to talk to me?
Yeah.
So anyway, this one girl showed me a picture of her grandmother. And wouldn't you know it? Boom, 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 boom. 12 answers in a row. Boom, 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 boom. And she could relate to 9 out of 12 things that I said to her about her grandmother. I said, "Well, I guess I can talk to dead people. I never knew it was possible." So I did more research with that. And turned out that I was pretty good with talking with people who passed away, but they're really not dead. When people pass away, they're really not dead. Their body dies, but they themselves aren't dead. So in other words, your soul and spirit, my soul and spirit, that's who we are by nature. That's who we are. Our soul is who you are. Your soul right now is expressing itself using the body that you're in. So once your body dies, once your body retires, your soul lifts up out of your body and says, "I'm out of here." And your soul takes on to a different energy light form in the spiritual world, in heaven. And your body's just there. But we never die. It's impossible to kill somebody. You could kill the body, but not the person. You'll just take on a different energy light form. So that's why I'm able to communicate to people who have passed away, because I'm communicating to their soul as their soul is communicating to me. And they give me extreme details of, whoever, whatever. Every single reading's different. Some people are more talkative, other people are more quiet, but it's a pretty good deal. So, as far as doing what I do. So I've been doing this now for about 32 years. And I've read for over 32,000 people in my life.
Nice. Before the interview started, we were talking about a little bit, and you can do this over the phone as well, correct?
Yeah, I'm just as accurate over the phone, giving people readings to the end of their lives. Whether they're with me in person, because I'm in Woodbridge, New Jersey. I'm in central New Jersey. So I'm just as accurate in person as, just as accurate over the phone as I am in person. Now, I'll tell you a few stories that I'm sure that you'll appreciate, being a psychic. It's in my book. I wrote a book called Angels and Answers, and it explains about life on a very deep level, very spiritual level. But I wrote the book where it's very simplistic, to understand. So in my book, there's this story, and it's called the Moose Story. The Moose Story. So this one lady, I'm doing a party, I call them Artie parties, the psychic parties. People hire me, I go to their homes, and I read for their friends and family. So this one lady, I'm reading for about a half hour. And, I'm looking at her mother's picture. And at the end of her reading, she goes, "Art," she goes, "I'm having a hard time being convinced of the fact that you're actually talking to my mother." I said, "Well, I could only share with you what the spiritual world gives to me." She goes, "No, well, you told me some things that were kind of general. It did have to do with my mother, but they were kind of generic. It could have happened with anybody." She goes, "But you did tell me some specific things that had to do with my mother, that were pretty on point, that pretty accurate." but I'm still having a hard time with the concept that you're actually talking to my mother, getting these answers. So I said, let me look at your mother's picture one more time. So I looked at her mother's picture. I said, your mom is showing me cows. She goes, what do you want me to do with that? I said, I don't know. I said, your mom is showing me cows. So in my mind, in my imagination, I saw all the cows getting up off their butts. They were all standing up and they were mooing, all of them. There's lots of them. And I looked at her. I said, I don't know why I'm doing this, but moo. And she started to cry. And I go, what's the matter? And she points to her mother's picture. And she goes, that's her name. I go, what are you talking about? She said, her name's Muriel, but everyone called her Moo. So it's like,
Wow.
that was pretty. I said, well, there, now you know I'm talking to your mother. I go, here's your picture, now get out. You know, I had another lady coming into my place. And as soon as she walked in, she says, Art, I've been thinking about you every single day for the last 2 years. I said, okay, I don't remember this lady. I said, all right. So all right. So I'm flattered. No, not like I was attracted to her in that way, but I'm flattered. And she said to me, she goes, I came here 2 years ago and you read for me. And I sat at your kitchen table. And as soon as you held my hand, when we sat down, as soon as you held my hand, you started singing the song by AC/DC. Highway to hell, I'm going to highway to hell. And you looked at me and you said, if I don't stop doing what I'm doing, I'm going to get caught at doing something I should not be doing. And I'm going to go to jail. And you warned me to stop doing what I was doing. And 1 week later, I got caught at doing something I should not have been doing. I didn't pay attention to you. And I got caught at doing what I was doing, and I got thrown in jail for 2 years.
Right.
And every single day when I woke up.
Oh, we lost him for a second. I'm fascinated so far. What about you?
Yeah, he has a lot of good stories.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very entertaining.
You know, but
there?
I'm still here.
Okay,
Oh.
yeah, we lost you for just a second.
Yeah. So just give me a moment. I apologize.
No, you're fine. Yeah.
You're absolutely fine.
So anyway, you know, she said to me, she said, why? She says, why is it that I did not listen to you? It's like, because the ego wants what it wants. So a lot of people say, oh, Artie, can you change people's future? The answer is yes. But like I just, you know, told you before, just now with that story, she did not have to go to jail. She didn't have to do this because I gave her warning. It's like I'll see car accidents before they happen. So I'll tell people, be very careful. You need to play defensive. Even if you're in the right, it makes no difference. Someone is going to be going through a red light. This isn't a prediction, guys, for you guys. All right. I said, it's going to be during busy rush hour traffic time. You're going to be at a busy intersection. And I'm just letting you know right now, play defense and make sure that the coast is clear before you turn or whatever. I said, because this is, and it's going to happen around sundown. I said, if you don't call me or nothing happens, that means you paid attention. I said, I'd rather you not tell me anything knowing that you're safe. Because I've told people, I see you getting in a fender bender, blah, blah, blah. People have gotten in fender benders when I saw it and stuff. You know, I tell people great things. I've given people over 100 times easily, winning lottery numbers, gambling situations or whatnot. But if people ask me, I can't do it. But if I'm doing a natural reading and numbers come to me, I'll give it. Like I give pick 3s and pick 4s. I haven't given like pick 6s and stuff like that. You know, where it really changes people's lives. But you know, so the spiritual world or your loved ones who passed away, they'll send me thoughts and images. And all of a sudden I'll see numbers and I'll say, oh, you got to do this. Or I'll see the casino. I say, oh, you got to go to this casino. And I said, this is where I see you winning and stuff. So an interesting story with that is that I'm at an Artie party. doing one of my parties, psychic parties. And a lady sits down with me. She goes, Artie, you read for me here at this party. My friend had a party here 2 years ago. And you read for me. And you said to me that I need to either start scratching off lottery tickets or I need to go to the casinos because you saw me winning tens of thousands of dollars. And I told you I do not gamble. I've never gambled. And I still haven't gambled. She goes, well, 6 months later after your reading was my birthday. And I had my kids over for my birthday. So one of my kids got me a birthday card. And inside the birthday card, they gave me those $2 scratch off lotteries for birthdays. She goes, the first ticket I scratched off, I won $50,000.
Wow.
I didn't see a goddamn penny from that. You kidding me? $50,000. I got paid for the reading. But, you know, that's all it's meant to be. It's like when I give people lottery numbers, I can't play it. Believe me, I tried. And it never comes out. It won't come out if I try to play it. It's only for me to give, you know?
Sure.
There was a time where I'm doing a reading. I'm doing I won't just say a party, but I'm doing a group reading. There's about 30 women at this one cafe. And so I went to this one lady and I said to her, your mom is here right now. Your mom is here. And she said, you need to play my birthday. My birthday is coming out real soon. You need to play my birthday in the lottery. I didn't know what her mother's birthday was, but I just knew that the lottery was coming out using her birthday numbers. So the lady owning the cafe calls me up 2 weeks later and she says, Art, do you remember you were reading for this one lady, you told her about the lottery number and the birthday? Most of the times I don't remember jack crap. I don't remember anything when I do readings for people, let alone trying to remember the person. So I said, well, all right, so what happened? She says, well, that was my best friend. And you told her that she needs to play her mother's birthday. She goes, she played her mother's birthday the next day and she won $6,000.
Wow.
That's awesome.
And that was her mother's gift to her because the lady did missionary work. She traveled around the country and traveled around the world doing, doing all this free, beautiful work, just wanting to help people. And so that was her mother's gift to her to let her know how proud she was. And so she gave her the heads up that she was to win 6,000. So that was really, really cool. That was really cool. So I was thrilled for her.
That is really cool.
You know, there was a lady who, I do a Facebook live show every Sunday night, 8 p.m. Eastern time. It's an international show. It's a national international show. So if you go online and go to my Facebook, Angels and Answers. That's also the name of my book that I was telling you about before. That you can get on my website, artiehoffman.com. Or if you go to amazon.com, you could get Angels and Answers, my book. So I have a Facebook live show, Angels and Answers. So a lady calls in and she says, Art, there's something wrong with my horse. He's not eating properly and he's losing a lot of weight. Now, mind you, I never met the horse. I'm not a veterinarian, nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't go to Harvard. I didn't go to Yale. Hell, I didn't even go to college. But in my book, I tell people I went to the University of Maryland and Boston for 2 years, but that was just to visit my friends. So I went into my visions with her horse. And I said, your horse has a problem with the digestive system. I said, there's a problem with the stomach. It's inflamed. And I said, where the stomach meets the intestines are inflamed. And every time your horse eats, it's very painful for the food to be digested. There's a major problem there, right where the intestines meet the stomach. So the veterinarian came back a week later because the lady came back on my show 2 weeks later, And she said to me, she goes, Art, I got to tell you a testimonial. She goes, you were right about my horse. She goes, I called the vet back and he checked out the area that you were talking about with the horse. And she said, you were 100% on the money. There was inflammation within the stomach and with the intestines. And it wasn't curable. It wasn't going to get better. There was nothing he could do for the horse. So unfortunately, we had to put my horse down. But I just wanted you to know that you were right with your visions about the horse. So that was real. I mean, I wasn't happy about the outcome, but
You ended some suffering.
yeah, but we ended the horse's pain and suffering. Yeah. So that was really cool. So again, I give people medical advice. I give them, well, with their pets. I even communicate with pets, loved ones' pets and stuff who passed away and stuff. And so, yeah, like I said, what I do for a living is a really, really cool deal. Now, there's a lot of people who might look at me and say, well, Art, if you're so holy, or if you're doing God's work, or you're helping heal so many people, then why are you charging to do God's work and stuff? I said, priests get paid, rabbis get paid, ministers get paid, doctors get paid, therapists get paid, nurses get paid. I said, so they're all doing like God's work in a sense. They're all in the healing industry, healing business. So I'm like the same. I said, and if I make enough money at doing what I'm doing, that means my time is a lot more accessible to the public, so I can help out more people. If I worked a regular full-time job all the time, then my time is very limited on how many people I could see or take care of. And then there are people with the Bible belt say, oh, what you do, it says in the Bible, you're that's the devil's work, and that's bad, and you're going to hell, and blah 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 blah. And I tell people, it's all what your intentions are behind your actions that makes something right or wrong. So my intentions, I do pray to God, and I do pray to the angels every day, asking for their blessings and asking for their wisdom and their healing energy, so that I could help out other people, God's children. So it's what your intentions are behind your actions what makes something right or wrong. Now, are there people who do what I do who take advantage of other people? The answer is yes. There are people who do what I do who try to manipulate people. So anytime you go for a reading, if anybody ever says to you, oh, somebody put a curse on you, that's why your love life sucks, or somebody put a curse on you and that's why your finances suck. No, it's not that somebody put a curse on you. The person who's reading you put the curse on you just at that moment, because they're planting a seed that, you make this a self-fulfilling prophecy. Of course, you're there for a reading because your life sucks, because, you're struggling emotionally, financially, your love life, something. It's not that anybody put a curse on you, but when a person like that plants a seed in your brain, you actually start believing in it. And so what they do is, for $1,000 or for $5,000 or $80 million, I will burn a candle for you. I'll say a prayer for you, and I'll do this. And so they take advantage of vulnerable people. So these are the people who take advantage of other people. And it's just simply wrong for what they do. So I tell people, if you're saying what I do is devil's work, then I need to shake the hands of the devil and thank him, because he's helped me save a lot of people's lives, emotionally, financially, physically, whatever.
Right.
So again, it's what your intentions are behind your actions. Whether it be a plumber, an electrician, a mechanic, doctor, are you in it for the money, or are you in it to really help people? I'm really in it to help people, but yet, yes, I do make a pretty decent living at it. But most part of it is because I make a positive difference in people's lives. When you're doing something that you love to do, and you're doing it with the intent of helping out the public, how can you not become successful if you stay diligent at it? It takes compromise. I mean, it takes commitment, and it takes dedication to become successful at something.
Agreed. Yeah, totally.
Absolutely.
So you might have your down and outs, and things might not be going great in the moment. But when you're putting your positive energy into something to try to make something work, where the public could benefit from it. So sure, you should get compensated for your good work. Why not? But so long as you're doing it with the best of intentions, wanting to help people, and then God will supply you with more clients or more customers, and sometimes you have to work a little harder. Sometimes you have to go through some crap, dealing with people, dealing with business, dealing with partners, dealing with coworkers. You got to weed out all the dead weight so that you could work with good people, so that you could really become successful at whatever it is you want to do. Some people, they work too hard at working with people who don't care as much as they do, and they end up pulling down the ship.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore it's hard to be successful at something when you have people around you who are not as caring or as enthusiastic. But when you're working with a good team, then it's going to happen. It will happen. And everybody has their own positive traits that they could offer to you. It could be one person's better with accounting, another person's better with marketing, another person's better than actually doing the work. Other people are better at working along better with other people, the workers themselves. So you find out what your positive traits are, and you work with it and give the other responsibilities off to the other people who work with you. Now, if you feel like you're just so at what you're doing and need more help in marketing or whatever it is, then go to somebody, advertise for somebody who has those positive traits, who could really step up your game. So
Sure.
It depends. How bad do you want something to make it work? Just because you can't do everything doesn't mean that it's not possible. Just because something is challenging or something is hard, it doesn't make it impossible. That means that you have to work that much harder to overcome your obstacles. It doesn't mean you should stop doing it if your heart is still into it. But as far as using that energy, what I just said to you, it's the same thing with relationships. It takes compromise and commitment to make a relationship work. But it takes two people to have the same desire to make a relationship work. If one person has the zest to want to make it work, but the other person isn't on the same page as you, then what is your purpose of constantly putting in that energy? So you can't force the other person to feel loving you. It's either it's naturally there or if it's not. Why would you want someone there out of your control or out of obligation? I only want somebody in my life personally because they love me, because they really want to be with me, or they want to compromise with me, or grow with me, or share beautiful thoughts or beautiful experiences with me. If you're not in it with me, it's like I might be bummed out, but it is what it is. I have to accept that, and I have to grow on. Because if you're holding on to someone or trying to control somebody to be somebody who they're not, or if it's not within their natural being, then you're only holding on to their shell. You're not holding on to their heart. You want their heart. So,
sorry.
That's okay. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, so where can everybody find you online?
So if they want to find me online, or first of all, you can call me if you want a private session, because I do life coaching besides the psychic and a medium. You could call me at 732-778-7173. And I'll repeat it, 732-778-7173. Or you can go to Artie Hoffman at Gmail. Or my website is artiehoffman.com. And that's ARTIEHOFFMAN at gmail or .com.
Artie, it was an absolute pleasure to talk to you and to hear all about your exciting career. I would love to talk to you again somewhere down the line. This has been absolutely fascinating, and thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, it was my pleasure. I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Right. You
and
got it.
Everybody watching, you can find the links to all of Artie's stuff in the description below, or if you're listening, it's also in the description of the podcast. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. You
Thanks,
have a
Artie.
wonderful day.
You too.
You too.
Okay, my friends. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Yeah.